People Power is volume 11 of the Coin series by GMT Games. In today's video, we're going to rebox its components so you can take a look at what's inside here on Legendary Tactics. Now, admittedly, I don't have much of a background knowledge of what happened in the Philippines in the 80s with Ferdinand and Imelda Marcos. I'd heard of them. But one of the great things about the Coin series in general is it introduces you to conflicts that you typically have not heard much about in sort of the normal course of things. So I was really excited to take a look at this game and to get a sense of what it's about. Here's a quick glance of all the components piled up. You've got the small deck of solo cards there, and also you've got the deck of event cards. It comes along with some other things. Personality cards are also now part of the gameplay to sort of vary the game and how it plays out. And you do have some event cards, although they do look quite a bit different aesthetically from any of the event cards that have come before. They play the same though as any of the previous games, where you have the order of factions and so forth, and players can pass or take the event and that sort of thing. So I'm going to store these cards back in the plastic shrink wrap, and we're going to look at all these components. And really, there's not a lot. Complexity-wise, this game is similar to Cuba Libre. It's intended to be a more introductory game and to give you a good sense of the series and how it plays, so that you can dive into some of the more complicated and involved versions of the series. So we're going to put all the pieces back in their baggies there, and we're going to take a look at the map. The map actually looks a little more complicated at first than it actually is. You've got the cities, you've got the regions, but the regions actually are islands, and so you have to look for those pale blue lines to show you the areas and how they actually all fit together. The board itself is actually pretty small, just being 4 sort of small sections put together. So very similar maybe in size to Cuba Libre as far as the actual board space. And veterans of Coin games will recognize these player aids, where they have the election round breakdown, which is the propaganda round. They also have the faction special activities and operations breakdowns there as well. The Bonifacio Solitaire system is very similar to the system that was in Gandhi. And we've got the 3 factions here: the Reformers, which are the peaceful protesters; the NPA, which is a little more of the insurgent faction; and the government. And what is a coin game without the government? We also have the counters, and I don't know if I've ever seen this before, but there aren't actually enough counters in the game to use up one sheet. You can see lots of blank counters there. And we have a booklet that explains the Bonifacio Solitaire system, including an example of play. The system itself, I think, runs quite smoothly once you get the hang of it. It's very similar to the system introduced in the Gandhi volume of the Coin series. And I think it's much easier than the flowcharts that we used to have to work with. We also have the rules of play, which have a few scenarios and breakdown of some terms and so forth, including the rules of how this game comes together, which is, again, roughly the same level of complexity as Cuba Libre. We also have the playbook, which has the designer's notes, which is my favorite, as well as a card manifest, various other details, an example of a multiplayer game, and so forth, to just walk you through and hopefully make this game as easy to learn as possible. We're going to put the lid back on this game here, and as you know, when we rebox these games, we love to put them back in the shrink wrap, as it keeps them nice and fresh and ready to go for our next playthrough. The game itself, I've played it a little bit, and it seems to be a very intriguing mix of the different elements that have come into play over the years in Coin. And apparently this game did take a decade to develop, so this is not something that has been rushed out by any stretch. We're going to put it back in the packing peanuts just for a little bit of extra safety. So if you are looking for something a little more introductory for the coin series, this one might be worth a look, especially if you only have 3 players available. So you don't have to run the 4th as a bot. So thank you so much for watching this reboxing. We hope it was fun, and see you here next time on Legendary Tactics.